Hi guys, welcome back to Dual Craft Labs. Today we're going to be making these really cool countdown tiles where you can write in the number of days that are left. This one happens to be for Halloween. So today we're going to be making these countdown tiles. I am going to be using the large bed. These are 4x4 tiles. I got them at my home improvement store. A box of 100 cost me, I believe it was around $15, so about 15 cents a piece. I am going to be putting a magnet on the back of these. Because it's going to be taking up the whole back, I don't have to worry about how it looks, as well as the magnet will then hold it to the refrigerator or whatever magnetic surface you're going to be using. This is the first time that I'm going to be using the large bed and covering the whole thing. I'm going to be doing 9 of these. 9 of these fit on the bed comfortably. They are a little tight from left to right, but they do fit on there. You want to make sure before you ever put them on your bed that you have cleaned them with alcohol really well to get off any dirt, grime, or debris that is on there. And after you clean them, do not touch the surface. You don't want to get any of the oils from your hands and fingers onto the surface that you just cleaned. This is going to be interesting because, like I said, this is the first time that I have actually filled the large bed. So this is going to be a good test to see how accurate that camera is compared to the software to where it actually prints on the Eufy. Now, I've already got my tiles set up here, and I've already got my large bed in here. If you're using the large bed, make sure that you do open the back flat because it's going to have to go in and out in order to make sure that that bed can move comfortably. Let's go over to the software and we'll start that process from the software side.
The first thing I'm going to do is I have not clicked or I haven't made anything in a couple days. So I'm going to go ahead and click my device up here in the upper left. And I'm going to inject the ink. Now, I've already started this process. There was a green inject ink button here. It said maintenance mode. And there's a green over here to the right, inject ink. Just go ahead and press that. And it's just going to take a little while it flushes out the moisturizing liquid and injects the inks into the lines. While it does this, we're just going to wait for this because I want you to see the whole process. So we'll come back once this is done. We're back. You can see that it says the injecting ink injection is complete. We're going to go ahead and click OK. Now we can go over here and create a new canvas up here in the upper left. This is going to open up a new tab up here. It says Untitled Design. It opens up templates, which is really annoying because I don't want the templates open there. And the first thing I'm going to do is press the snapshot over here on the left-hand side. We're going to go ahead and click snapshot. This is going to give you all this information, and it will go ahead and start taking the snapshot. Now, on your machine, it will move the bed in and out. It'll move it up and down while it measures the height of the material, in our case, the tile that we have on the bed. It will then take a snapshot or a picture so that we can then place the images here on our bed. I'm going to go ahead and come further down here with our material, and I'm actually going to select ceramic because this is a ceramic tile. I'm going to keep it at a standard quality there. While this is going through, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my images that I have here. Like I said, I do have 3 of them, so we're just going to take and drag them on there. You could always come over here to the left and click the upload in the bar that's on your left-hand side over here. I'm going to say yes, resize to canvas, and it will load them all in. Now, I had it resized to canvas, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be resizing each of these to fit the tile size, which is a 4x4 tile. You can see that they are all there. I have all three of them there. I can make them a little bit smaller so we can see them all. You can go outside of your canvas whenever you're doing this and place them outside the canvas. As you can see here, we'll make them about that big for right now. while we finish up our snapshot over there. Like I said, if you click on any of these, you can change over here to the right. Notice we now have different set of options to the right. We're going to do white CMYK. And like I said, we're going to do that gloss varnish. So we're going to come down here to white CMYK gloss varnish. Actually, what I'm going to do is just the CMYK with the gloss varnish because these are white tiles with a white background. So I'm not going to use up my white on that. I'm going to keep it at the defaults of 1 and 1, 1 CMYK, 1 gloss. And I'm going to do this for each one of these. You'll notice that my tile or my snapshot has come up here. But let's go ahead and finish up what we're doing here with each one of these and do the CMYK and the gloss. Now that we have that, we can go ahead and start placing these. These are not exactly straight on here, so I can kind of move these around a little bit. And you'll notice that this one especially has a background. I'm going to get rid of that background on here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see that. So you can see here, and yes, I know it's a little bit crooked because my tile is crooked on here, but I don't want to have to adjust it and make another snapshot. So I'll just make my image crooked. But I want to get rid of the white that is around this here. So whenever I have this, I don't have to go out to an outside program. I can just go ahead and click the AI remover up here at the top, and then click on the remove background button that appears there. It's going to go ahead, it's going to detect where the background is and remove it. And it does a really good job of removing just what I wanted it to remove. And it kept this white box here in the middle, which is what we want because that's where we're going to be writing that number, right? So this one is Krampusnacht, which is a holiday famous in Germany, and this is going to take up most of this particular tile. So we're going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And kind of place it in the middle there. I need to come up a little bit more, make sure that the full thing is in there. That looks pretty good to me. Just kind of eyeballing these as you see them. You'll notice that on the sides here, if I click off of it, that the side is straight and where his arm is over here is straight as well. So that gives me a good way to line these up. I'm just going to go ahead and click Control C and Control V on my keyboard. If you have a Mac, your options may be a little bit different. And I don't have a Mac and I don't use a Mac, so they are going to be a little bit different. And I need to align this a little bit better with the way that the tile is there. That looks pretty good to me. And again, Control C and Control V as we come across here, just making sure that it not only fits on there, but also because our tiles are not in there straight, that we're going to move these a little bit. So that they fit a little bit better on there and they're not all crooked and everything. So let's get this a little bit aligned. I wish that you could use the arrows on the keyboard for finely using them. That looks pretty good there, lined up, probably over to the right a little bit more. With this, you can use them. You can use your arrow keys to go left and right and up and down, but you cannot use them if you're utilizing the turn function within on the software. I want to bring that one up just a little bit. The next one we're going to do is this spooky one. Now this one's going to cover the whole thing, and I don't have to get rid of a background because I like the background. I'm actually going to go a little bit over. Just so I get good coverage on the whole thing. Now, the thing about these tiles is because these are really supposed to be used in your bathroom or your kitchen or wherever as a regular tile, there's little bump outs here on the top and bottom on these. I sometimes are on the left and right. It's up to you if you really care about that. But I want to make sure that those get covered as well. So I'm going to make sure that, my image is big enough that it's covering the whole thing. So again, once you get it to where you want it, we can just hit Control C and Control V, and we can now move these over. The nice thing is this one needs to be just a tad bit bigger. There we go. The nice thing about this is you can see here as we're moving these, it becomes a little bit transparent. So we can see the material behind here. If you can't see it and you need to make it a little bit more transparent so you can see the material, there is the third item in on our taskbar up at the top. It's called opacity, and you can turn that up and down. Now, whenever you do this, just be very careful that you turn this back up to 100%, because if you don't, it will print at that decreased opacity, and you won't get these vibrant colors that we have. Now, I am placing these. You know what? I think on this one as well, I think I want to get rid of the background on this one as well. So again, just highlight, and we're going to do AI remover and remove background. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. This is just something that I want to do on these. And you'll notice that it did. And now we're just dealing with the actual image itself. This makes it, for me, a little bit easier. And I don't have to use the white that we have in our CMYK for a background. And I'm not wasting my white ink. That one looks pretty good to me right there, right? Because we have his little tail over here, the eggs are in, his ear is in. So we're just going to go ahead and now click our Control C and our Control V. Once you do it once, you can just click Control V and it will place it again somewhere on there, so you can take and bring it over and place it on your material. You want to make sure that it is centered. I am just kind of eyeballing this right now. Those look pretty good to me right there. And once you're done, you can then click somewhere outside of where your canvas is or your snapshot, and you'll get back over here to our main page on the right. Just double check that each one of these is CMYK gloss varnish, just for a little double check there. And we can see that it is. We've already set up our ceramics. We're going to keep it as a standard. So at this point, this looks good to me. They're lined up, even though my tiles are a little bit wonky. I've adjusted the images so that these look pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and actually just press print. Now this is going to go and it's going to take this file and it's going to send it over to the Eufymake. This may take, depending on the size of your file, and mine may be a little bit bigger because, again, I'm doing 9 of these. So I have 3 of each one of these. This may take a little bit of time, but it gives you a nice progress bar here as we go across. As usual, once it gets to 99%, it seems to hang for a little bit. Just be patient. It will eventually get to 100%, and you'll get that wonderful chime sound that you can either then click the button on the machine, or if you've set it up, you can click the start here. The one thing that I do like to watch for once this is ready is I just kind of eyeball to make sure that my colors are set. This is using no white ink there, and it's using about 1.3 milliliters. So I'm going to use about 2.67 milliliters of ink. I could go out and do a calculator on this to see how much this actually cost me to do 9 of these. This is going to take about 30 minutes, 29 minutes, 34 seconds. This is the estimated time. Once we're done, it'll come up and tell you the actual time. So we'll see how close this is. So remember 29:34. We're going to go ahead and click start, and your print will actually start on the Eufymake once it is ready and ready to print. You will get a nice countdown here, as we see, and you can go off and do other things. I do recommend that you kind of stay in the area to make sure that nothing occurs that you have to stop the print. So we're going to go ahead, and once these are printed, we'll come back. We'll see how good of a job it did, because remember, this is the first time that I'm using the full large plate on this. So we want to see how well that camera does with placing it with that snapshot it did. Is it off any? Is it to the left or to the right? Is it up or down? And we'll take a look and we'll see how well it does. We'll be back in a little bit once this is all done. Okay, we're back. This actually took us 29 minutes, 30 seconds, so it was off by less than half a second because our estimate was 29:34. It used 2.68 milliliters of ink. And like I said, you can always take these then and input them into any of these calculators that are online to get a good estimate of how much this cost you in just ink. So we can go ahead and click finish. We're going to take a look at these, and I'm going to show you then what this looks like on the bed to see how well this camera actually aligned with what we're seeing on the bed. So let's go over to the bed and we'll take a look at that.
We can see here, this is, I have not moved anything off the bed, but the ones that I was concerned about were the ones on the left and right and top and bottom. So the left bottom and right bottom and the left and right top. Wasn't too concerned about these ones in the middle. Number one, because we did enough ink to cover anything that might have been a little bit off. But also these were in the middle, so I wasn't worried about those. These here are the ones that I was worried about, especially ones like this one. So, you know, I lined it up in that snapshot, and I got to tell you, guys, this is kind of amazing. It may be shifted just a little bit, but it's not a whole lot. I mean, we're talking fractions of a millimeter, if any, to be honest with you. And you can see here, here's the ones, those Krampus ones. That one may be shifted a little bit to the left, right? And if we take a look at that one in the far top left is right on. So whenever we take a look at these, I'm going to take these out and we'll be on the top here. I mean, take a look at that. That's just lining it up, utilizing the snapshot that was on the actual bed. So, you know, going forward, I'm not going to worry too much about being able to line these up. Here's the one in the bottom left of it. I mean, that's like right on where I had it. You know, including it was right on the edge of the tile where I had it placed in the software. So really, I am really happy with the way that these came out. Like I said, I use a wet erase marker for these. You can see here, these came out really well. This is the Krampus one. You saw the Easter one just a little bit ago. This is my Halloween one that covered the entire tile. You know, these things look really good. And they have a nice little gloss to them from that gloss that we put on top. And then you can just write in here number of days with that wet erase marker. And then just take a paper towel, a little wet paper towel, or lick your thumb. I did that this morning. I licked my thumb and just wiped off the marker. Thank you guys. This has been an absolute fun. I am really happy with the way that these came out and with the way that the camera positioned everything. There is very little, if no, distortion on these at least. And this was the first time that I did something that large on the bed. Thank you guys again. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you have anything that you want to see. Whether it be on the Eufymake, whether it's on a laser or a 3D printer, please let us know in the comments. We do read the comments, each and every one of them. And thank you for watching Dual Craft Labs.